It's pretty obvious to know the difference between a mobile home and a manufactured home if it's an older one like this, but companies have gotten pretty sneaky. And you're gonna need to know the costly differences between mobile homes and manufactured homes, whether you're buying a brand new one that's already existing that's for sale, or you're trying to find yourself a modular home, which is a completely different home product. Today we're gonna be going over the biggest differences between modular homes and manufactured homes, so that way you can decide which one is best for you and your family. All right, before we go over the cost difference between a modular home and a manufactured home so you can make the best decision, I need you to understand what they really are, because this is where the confusion comes in. Well, the thing is because they're both built in the factory. Modular homes are usually built in little rooms, little cubes all the way around, and then they connect together like Legos. Each component is already pre-built in a factory. In some cases, that can even include the wiring. Now, when it comes to manufactured homes, they're usually made in 1, 2, or 3 pieces. I've even seen them double stacked where they're even in 4 pieces. But if you look at the manufactured homes in the past, it's usually just one straight piece that goes across. But this is where the confusion comes in. You've also might have seen one more product that they've just introduced, which is a modular manufactured hybrid. Don't be fooled by that, please. It's not the same thing. When making a decision when it comes to manufactured or modular homes, if you're really focused on the price per square foot, you're probably going to want to go with manufactured. Price per square foot, manufactured homes go between as low as like $76 up to about $200 to $300. And I know you're probably like, $200 to $300. This, of course, is depending on the area that you live in. Just like anything you buy in real estate, price per square foot is going to make a difference in the location that you live. Now, when it comes to modular homes, because they are identical product to a stick-built home, price per square foot in most cases is going to be the same as a traditional built home. And you're probably wondering, why would I go with a modular home if it's going to be so much more expensive? Because it is built to specific building codes in line with traditional home building. Not only that, you can get them built a heck of a lot faster than you would with a traditional built home, because once or they put down the foundation, the home comes in a day. Now, would it be as fast as a manufactured home? Absolutely not. We're talking this is going to take, at least 6 weeks to get your home together with a modular home. When it comes to a manufactured home, the day it arrives is pretty much the day they put it all together, and within a few weeks you're going to have your occupancy license. As far as time and speed is concerned, manufactured homes win on this. You're going to get those done a lot faster than you would on a modular home. Financing is a tricky subject when it comes to manufactured and modular homes. Now, you can get your FHA, your rural development, you can get conventional financing. All those loan products are available for manufactured and modular homes, so you have nothing to worry about. But the problem is the lenders don't know how to finance manufactured homes. But that's also true with modular homes because they're so confused on the terminology. They think it's a manufactured home and they don't realize that it has the same exact components as a traditional stick-built home. But once you explain to them how you're going to do your modular home, it becomes a little bit easier. Now, one thing you really should know when it comes to manufactured homes, usually the interest rate on those is going to be a little bit higher than they would on a traditional home. Not in all cases, but in a lot of cases. This is especially true if you're getting a manufactured home that's in a park, which would not be attached to land. So you would only be financing the home itself. The interest rates for those are a lot higher than traditional home mortgages. But if you own the land and you plan on rolling that all in together, you can just have a regular 30-year fixed rate mortgage. If it's not attached to land when it comes to a manufactured home, those are called chattel loans, and they run on a completely different mortgage interest rate levels. All right, so now let's talk about property taxes. So if you have a manufactured home, some people call it a trailer or mobile home, the cost of your taxes for your property, depending on the state, is going to be a lot less expensive if you're renting the land underneath it. Some places, they don't even require you to pay any kind of property taxes since you don't own the property that the home sits on. Some other states are a little bit different, and each park works a little bit differently. So you're going to want to investigate that ahead of time. Now, when it comes to manufactured home that sits on a piece of land, your property taxes are going to be a lot less expensive than they would for a modular home. In most states, they consider a manufactured home not at the same level price per square foot as they do a traditional stick-built home or a modular home. So that just means you're going to be paying a lot more in property taxes themselves, but you still are going to be a lot better off than the person that bought the modular home to put on that piece of property. No matter what type of home you're trying to purchase today, home insurance is
absolutely insane, especially if you live in states like Florida, Louisiana, along the coastline of Texas, in other states that have had wildfires like California or even Colorado. Homeowners insurance has gone up so much. When you're deciding between the two products, I'm going to let you know right now that a modular home will actually be, in a lot of states, a lot less expensive as far as insurance is concerned than a traditional stick-built home. Now, when you have your manufactured home, because the home is actually priced per square foot a lot less expensive, your homeowner's insurance most likely will be a lot less expensive than it would be for a modular house. But before you decide on either one of these, I want you to meet with an insurance agent in your area. Your insurance agent will be able to look up to see what the risk is for that specific area when it comes to fire or whatever else they need to know. Also tell them that you'd like some kind of rough estimate when you're trying to decide between a modular home and a manufactured home, but at least they'll be able to give you a rough estimate on how much that will cost you in the long run every single year. But homeowners insurance isn't the only thing you need to be worried about. Here in South Louisiana, where I live, we flood all the time. You're going to really want to price out flood insurance and talk to the neighbors in the area to find out how often that area has flooded and when was the last time it flooded and how high that water was when it flooded.
I want to show you this because this is the house that's high in the sky because of the flood zone. But this house right over here, it's sitting on a slab. When you're looking at homes, if you live in a flood zone and you have a manufactured home, it's going to be a heck of a lot easier to lift it if FEMA requires you to stay in the area that you have bought a home in. A modular home sits on its permanent foundation. So if you end up being in a flood zone or FEMA tells you that you have to get flood insurance, those costs can continue to go up and you won't be able to raise the house as easily as you would with a manufactured home. People genuinely love to complain about the safety of a manufactured home. And over the years, they started making some building codes for these specific types of homes. One of the things that they've learned is these hurricane straps. I know it seems crazy, but these are like metal. They're bolted in. Now, granted, if a tornado was to come through, this house is secure and it isn't going anywhere. One thing to note though, with manufactured homes, they have to meet certain kinds of wind speeds in the area. So they have stronger wind straps. They're going to have different building materials to keep this home in place. You're not going to get that with a modular home. How do you know you're in a flood zone? Look, this house is on stilts. This house is on stilts. That house is on stilts. That's how you know you're in a flood zone. It's pretty clear.
Let me just talk about the quality between a manufactured home and a modular home. When you look at manufactured homes, they are built with the 2x4s, they have flooring, they have insulation.
And I wanted to point out that with manufactured homes, 99.9999% of the time, you're going to be only getting vinyl siding.
They're made with the same roofing materials that any traditional built home is built with. But anybody I've ever spoken to that lives in a manufactured home, they do complain that the insulation is not great and they get really, really hot in the summertime. I've heard them say that the quality of the cabinetry in those homes is not very good. And I've actually heard people say that they're quite drafty as well. But anybody that's had a newer manufactured home, I'm telling you, anybody that's had one from 1995 and older, they don't have those same complaints. They say that their home has been built fantastic and they've had no issues with it. Now, I will tell you this, any home that's built before 1976, you'll have a hard time getting any kind of financing on because they weren't built to any building standards. Everything after 1976 is built to HUD specifications. That being said, even though it's after 1976, they didn't have anything built when it comes to wind speeds. They didn't even start doing that until the 90s after Hurricane Andrew. And even then they have improved the product exponentially. So just know that when you're looking at older manufactured homes. Now, when you're talking about modular home,
I've said it before and I'll say it again.
They're built to the same specifications as you would for a traditional built home. So they're going to be able to have pretty much any kind of insulation you want to put in there. When it comes to roofing materials, they pretty much, the sky's the limit on what you want there. You're much more limited in your options when you're looking at manufactured homes. And another thing I want to point out about modular home companies, just because they built homes in Texas doesn't mean that they'll be able to ship your home to, let's just say, Oklahoma. They may have a specific area that they only build homes and ship homes to. People ask me all the time, which modular home companies are the best in, let's just say, Pennsylvania. I don't have a specific list of who the best are in any specific area. I suggest you get into some Facebook groups and start talking to people that own a specific brand of home. Start looking at Google reviews, check Reddit as well, and start making some posts on social media and make some phone calls to see if anybody has any stories they want to share with you about their specific modular or manufactured home. If you're just on the hunt and you're still trying to figure out if you want to buy a manufactured home or a modular home and you happen to have a piece of land already, please check to make sure that that piece of land can have either a manufactured home or a modular home on it. There are many areas throughout the United States that restrict these types of homes. The federal government's working on that to change some of the zoning and restricting and working with local governments on that. But you know how everything is in the government. Everything takes a long time and they say a lot of things and things don't really happen the way they're supposed to. Another thing is if you're looking at brand new pieces of land, make sure you're going to be able to do what you want to do, which is either A, put a manufactured home or a modular home. Again, a lot of these areas will say no modular homes because they have an idea that it's actually a manufactured home. And sometimes with these so-called hybrid manufactured homes, it adds to the whole confusion. So if you have a true modular, just take it up to the planning and zoning department, show them exactly what kind of home that you're planning on building. In a lot of cases, they'll just go ahead and give you the stamp of approval, especially if you're working with a local contractor that can provide the plans to planning and zoning. If it has a HUD plate on the back, it's a manufactured home. I don't care if they tell you, no, that has modular components in it, so it's a hybrid. It's still a manufactured home. So don't get duped by the salespeople in there. Modular homes do not have a plate. They do not have a HUD number on it. They will not have a VIN number. None of that. So when you're looking at manufactured homes, you're going to be paying less per square foot. You're going to be probably paying a lot less in insurance and property taxes. And you can get it built pretty quickly. If you're looking at modular home, it is a traditional built home. It's built quite quickly. It will appraise just like a traditional built home when you go to resell it in the future. They're highly energy efficient and they're extremely versatile on the way that the appearance of them looks. Both of these products have pros and cons. Which one is your favorite? Would you do a manufactured home or a modular home? Let me know in the comments section below.
To watch more videos about affordable housing options, you're going to want to watch these videos right here. My name is Kristina Smallhorn, your real estate whisperer, and I tell you all this because good real estate information matters.